Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video that I filmed, we took a look at the 2023 model Grave Watcher animatronic. And at the end of the video, I made a point of saying that we are going to do a comparison video of the old one and the original. So I have the new model right here, but I'm going to push it off to the side a little bit, take down the box, and just quickly open up the original one here, pull her out of the box, and pose them right next to each other. So here you have the original model right with the new one. Before we take a look at them, I will pose the arms on the old one the best way possible and the fastest way possible to make it look half decent for the comparison. We want to give them both a fair chance, am I right? So there we go, that one looks fine. Alright, so I wrote a little script here for this one. We've got 4 things that we're going to be taking a look at here. The first one is the detail, the overall detail. Next, we're going to take a look at the mechanism in general, overall character, and then lastly, the box/storage. So I guess we should just start off with the detail point. Starting off with detail. As you can see on both of these props, they do have very many differences, and let's point some out. So on the original, we got boots right here. This one doesn't have. It's just an X-frame base. The eyes look similar. This one really jumps out at you, these eyes. These are a little more subtle. The candles on this one have an orange tint to them, whereas these have more of a clear tint. I think these look more like wax. They're a darker red color, while these are kind of plasticky looking still a little bit, even though they do look fine. The eyes on the original look more bloodshot. They look more luminescent. Same with the mouth. There's shiny blood dripping down the mouth here. Whereas the original, the eyes do look very nice, but they don't really have much of a clear, translucent look compared to the original one. Same with the mouth here. There is no blood gelatin looking blood stuff coming out of the mouth. It really looks like paint. But I'd say this one has better detail around the actual eye sockets themselves. We got more accentuated black dashes coming down here. I'm assuming that it's supposed to resemble like makeup of some kind. I don't really know. The one on the original is still present, though very much at a more minimal layering. It's very light here, whereas here is much more expressed and more dominant. The blood gashes right here are actually painted perfectly, while these are just like airbrushed lazily. You can see it comes down here a little bit as well. This one does the same. So when it comes to attention to detail, I think I'm going to have to go with the new one here, because you can tell that there was more care taken to things like the paint job, especially on the head. The main thing that you're going to look at when you first look at this prop is definitely going to be the head, and everything is accentuated more than the original, especially the eyeliner and especially the gashes in the forehead. With that being said, this one definitely wins in terms of the red bloodshot eyes as well as the blood dripping mouth. Even the hands on this one have some shadowing in between the fingers, which accentuates it more, makes it look more three-dimensional, and that each of these fingers are actually on their own instead of just one fully molded piece. So that is 1 point to the 2023 model, 0 points to the 2013 model. Next up, we have their mechanisms. Now, we all know that the 2023 model has an added feature where the head tilts from side to side. The arms still move inwards and outwards, but on the 2013 model, it is just the arms moving in and out. So now would be a good time to take a look at both of their demos. Alright, so I got them plugged into one of my wireless remote things, and we will take a look at, firstly, the 2023 model. And I'm going to keep the microphone on my shirt right now so you can get a sense of the speaker quality from a point of view of a person and not the microphone being right up on the speaker. So here we go.
Beware, you are now in the graveyard of fog. I am the guardian of all souls. eagerly been awaiting you and are so happy you finally arrived. Don't be scared. Come this way. I have a special grave for you, the one that is right behind me. Make yourself at home. This is the end. We want your soul.
So you can see very smooth movement on the head as well as the arms, very fluent, very quiet as well. Let's take a look at the original. She was just on the demo mode, so she cut off halfway through, but you get the point. The arms move in and out, very simple, kind of loud, and the loudness of the motor actually kind of muffles the speaker quality. But you can't really hold that against that one, considering she came out 11 years ago. Now, objectively, you would say that this one has a better mechanism because it has an added feature, the head tilt side to side. That's objectively. Now, the point I'm going to bring to you right now is totally a personal preference, and that is, I, for one, think it's kind of creepier that the head on the original just stays still, like it's almost in a daze. It's in a trance-like state. It's almost like maybe it's possessed or some sort of thing, but the candles are just moving in and out or side to side ominously while the head just stares off into the distance. It has like the 1,000-yard stare is what this is going for. And I think this is creepier than this one with the side-to-side head tilt. And that's why when it first came out, the new one, I was kind of bummed a little bit. I do think it's cool that it has more animation. But I think this is one of those rare instances where not having a added motion is cooler. I really like the fact that this one just stares at you, or just stares past you, rather. But that is just my personal opinion. So again, in terms of mechanism, this one's probably better. So that leaves us with 2 points to the new one, still 0 points to the old one. Now here is where it gets a little tricky. The next little segment is character. Right off the bat, I need to say I think this one immediately wins in terms of character, and here's why. Piggybacking off of what I just said earlier, the 1,000-yard stare makes this one seem a lot more creepier, which is what it's going for. It's a Halloween prop. It's supposed to be creepy. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, and that's exactly what this one does. This one makes it look more like an animatronic with the hands going in and out and the head tilting side to side. Makes it really pass like an animatronic because it's all symmetrical. It all goes in the same motion. There's no asymmetry to say. It's all expected what this one's doing. This one just stares at you and really creeps everyone out. I would say even though they share similar clothing, the fact that the clothing on this one is a little more tattered and loosely woven compared to this one, which is very clean and presentable, also adds to the character, because that makes this one look like it's a, I don't want to say a toy, but like it's a store-bought animatronic, whereas this one with the old tattered clothing, there's wear, and I don't know if there's necessarily wear because of its age, but there's like different colored beads on here that aren't really very bright and glossy. These are just matte colored, whereas these are very metallic or like very shiny. This makes it look more aged, which also adds to the character of this thing being maybe some sort of 1,000-year-old just creature of the paranormal realm. Again, building the character better for this one compared to that one. And then my last point is that I think this one's voice acting is 10 times better than this one's ASMR crap. Like, just listen to this one. Here we go. I love the thunderstorm sound right at the beginning. And the voice acting goes with the 1,000-yard stare. It makes it seem like it's in some sort of a trance. The fact that the head stays straight and just the whispering and the way the lines are delivered really sells the point of a trance-like state. Whereas this one just makes me want to go to sleep.
Beware, you are now in the graveyard of fog.
Like, what does graveyard of fog even mean? This one says the graveyard of souls, I believe. Let me see it again. You are now in the graveyard of souls. I think it's saying souls. It might be saying fog, but I think it's saying souls, and I think I'm going to want it to be saying souls anyways. So that's what it's saying. It's saying souls. So for overall character, the original Grave Watcher will get 1 point. And the final thing that we're going to be looking at today are the boxes. So first up, you have the New Ones box. Very small, mind you. You can see that it is very tiny compared to the Grave Watcher herself. It would be very easy to store this thing, very easy to pick up and move around. Overall, a great size box for anyone who has a lot of animatronics like myself. Storage is a big problem, and it's always a bummer when there's a prop where the box size dimensions are 2 by 3 by 1,000 yards. And then here's the originals one. Need I say more? Now, there's a perfect explanation as to why the old one is so much bigger, and that's simply because this one doesn't come apart. This one you have to set up. So with that being said, it is quite obvious that the new Grave Watcher will get the point on this one. So that was all 4 of the things that I initially brought up, but I just remembered one more. The setup. This one, all you have to do is pull it out of the box, put some batteries in it, and you're ready to go. Now this one, on the other hand, for me personally, was horrendously difficult to put together. And you might be asking yourself why. There's like 2 poles that you got to connect and put a screw together and you're done. To put that screw through that tiny little plastic hole and get it all lined up perfectly took me a good 15-20 minutes to do. And that was because just the clearances weren't good. I basically had to shove the screw in for it to make the hole itself. And the hole were so like fine and tight, there was no room for error basically. So it was definitely more of a hassle to put this one together than the one you just have to pull out of the box. But I'm not going to include that on the little grading scale because I thought of it after. But it's just something to think about. It's not the end of the world with this one setting it up, but it was just a little more time consuming. So after the objective rating scale and objectively looking at these two together, we can say that the new one is better objectively. But it has something that only the old one can capture, and that is the nostalgic factor. This one won the character debate, in my opinion, and for that reason, it also wins the nostalgic factor of Old Spirit Halloween being much more creepy and eerie and uncomfortable than New Spirit Halloween is. And it's clear that Spirit Halloween is trying to widen its horizons in terms of audience and people to potentially buy their stuff. That's what a business does. It makes sense. But with that, they had to kind of throw away the creepy, the eerie, the uncomfortable, the gorish vibe that Old Spirit Halloween would often put out. So props that are eerie, like this model, no longer exist. It could very easily be argued that this one is more creepy and more eerie than the new one, like I said earlier. But those are just my opinions, and everyone has opinions. So let me hear your opinions down in the comments on which one you think is cooler, the original or the new one. So that is all I really have to say for this video. I'm going to leave you with a demo of the two together, which is pretty cool. But once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.